would have been like, oh, delightful, a joke. But if it had any chance, they killed it.
Well, and I think that's also the thing, was because all of the comedy felt so flat and not funny, that there was no levity.
Yeah.
It was just doldrum.
It was so serious.
Well, it was... I don't... But it wasn't. It wasn't even serious. It was just brooding, then gore, then more brooding.
That's
then
why
angst,
I'm using my early 2000s video game guy voice.
with fist punch action.
Yeah.
It was... Oh, did you know
Uh-oh.
that there were after credit scenes?
Yes, I
Did you stay and watch them?
told you about them.
Did you?
Are you paying attention to our group chat?
Probably not.
I did stay and watch them, yeah.
There was... So, with the pre-credit scene, so like that little outro,
Yeah, yeah.
the middle one with the lobster claw guy, and then the final one with Baba Yaga, there was so much sequel.
They set up
grasping.
an entire series.
It was like,
They aren't. There's no way, right? There's no way in hell they get a sequel.
it's made $4 million. That's it. It's only made $4 million. It's been out 2 weeks already. $4 million.
Well, we made the right choice doing Missing Link instead of Hellboy for the opening weekend.
It's true. We really did. I think, honestly, Missing Link, being a lower tier movie, is killing it in the box office. Something ridiculous. Avengers Endgame, which, if you haven't bought your tickets already, I mean, you'll probably be able to see it 2 months from now. I don't know.
I heard there's a new theater opening in Sac that has a bunch of tickets for Endgame still.
Ooh.
Let me find that info.
But Avengers Endgame has already made $120 million. It hasn't even come out yet. It comes out in 5 days. It's already made $120 million. Hellboy's been out for 2 weeks, and it's made 4.
Cinema West on Watt and El Camino opening this Friday. A bunch of tickets to Endgame, according to my buddy. If you're in Sacramento area and you still need Endgame tickets, check them out.
That is probably the smartest thing I've ever seen anyone do. That is the perfect time to open a theater.
It is.
Like, brilliant. Holy cow. I am so frustrated with this movie.
Well,
they even use an obscure villain in the final credit thing, where they used. I mean, they didn't show his face, but they hint at it a little bit that he's. I can't remember his name. Something the Undying, which
I
is
didn't read the comics.
is a beeline character in the Hellboy series. He's just.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
He's not even a mate.
They did hint that they're trying to do the whole Abe Sapien people in the next one, too. There was a lot that they hinted.
It's a whole lot we're never going to see.
Well, that's fine. No one will ever do Abe Sapien better than Doug Jones!
Doug Jones! Literally, Abe Sapien, other than Hellboy, is the most widely known and widely appealing character in the entire Hellboy series. Why would you do a Hellboy movie without him?
Because they couldn't get Doug Jones, and no one else will do it as well! Doug Jones is busy on Star Trek.
Are they making a new Star Trek?
No, he's on Star Trek Discovery, the show.
Oh!
I love Doug Jones.
I haven't watched Discovery yet. I've heard so many good things about it. Like, I heard the first season's rough, but it really catches its stride.
I really enjoyed it. To preface, am not a classic Star Trek person.
Mm-hmm.
I have not... I've watched a smattering of episodes.
Yeah.
But I've not, gotten real into it. But I've really enjoyed Discovery. I got CBS All Access 1 week free trial just to watch Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Which I loved. And I binged 2 entire seasons of Discovery in that week. It's got Anthony Rapp, and it's got Doug Jones, and it's got Tig Notaro now, too. I love all of them very much.
So, here's the question. What does Doug Jones play?
In
Star Trek.
Star Trek? Guess.
I want to say Klingon, but he's too gangly.
He doesn't play a Klingon.
Romulan.
I don't think that the species has been introduced yet in other series. I think that it's a new species.
Gotcha.
But he's a gangly alien. He does wear prosthetics.
So he's in his element.
Yes,
a gangly alien.
Why else do you hire Doug Jones? You gotta cover his face. A few places don't, and I have seen them because they're Doug Jones. But yeah, he's the guy you call when you're like, hey, we want to put you in some makeup you can barely breathe through and then make you do a lot of physical exertion. You game?
It's like, I'm in.
Yeah.
This is my calling.
Literally.
Oh, man. That's awesome. Yeah, my brother...
So, the reviews are in. Star Trek Discovery, good. Endgame, making more money than it took to make already. Hellboy, probably don't bother.
No.
Doug Jones, 5 stars.
Doug Jones, 5 stars. Don't bother with Hellboy. Like even people who are like just into like Gorefest movies, like
it was bad. It was buckets of ketchup and paint.
Yeah,
and it couldn't decide if it was like Sleepy Hollow magenta paint or like Sweeney Todd bright red paint, but it was definitely Tim Burton blood.
Yeah, it was poorly done, and like even like in the trailers, they show, like, the Elder God, like, demon things. They're in it for, what, 30 seconds?
Maybe.
They skin and kill, like, 6 people, and then get sucked back down to hell.
I also
because
love
of Ian McShane telling Hellboy not to be a bitch anymore.
Yeah, I also love that Hellboy's like, no, I can't do the thing. And then in the next location, he's like, okay, well, I guess I gotta do the thing. And then he opens hell, and hundreds of people are murdered. And then as soon as he's like, oh, never mind, I shouldn't do the thing, everyone's like, you're a hero! Not like, you just murdered hundreds of people with bad self-will. Like, where's your willpower, Hellboy?
The best part, the best visual in the entire movie is after all the demons like do the rampage thing and he slams the sword back in and the demons get sucked back in. You literally see them get sucked back in. And then there's just like a half a second where you see the streets where everything's gone. Like there are no people in London anymore.
They've all been
murdered and sucked down to hell.
And everyone's like, oh, Hellboy, you're such a hero.
Yeah,
you saved everywhere but London.
Oh,
which you wiped off the map.
Oh,
yes.
That was something that I fucking loved. When the shit starts hitting the fan in the story, and there's the newsreel of the plague, and the newscaster's like, and we're expecting the death toll to be over 125,000 in the next 2 hours, and that all of the UK will be taken in the next 24, and then the entire world will probably succumb to this by the next 48 hours. You're like what?
Wow, you're very calm.
Yeah, it's just like, first off, why would you say that on live TV?
Right.
Second off, props to your, professional aesthetic for staying so calm with the bubonic plague starting up again. And where did that go, by the way?
I don't know.
Because I'm just saying.
Maybe it got sucked back into hell.
Yeah, everyone who
got the plague. It's a bad day.
Because that was a totally separate thing. That wasn't part of the sword.
Right.
That was
She just already
Mila,
had set the plague upon humanity.
And it just
And it was like working hard.
Yeah, just like person, blah, 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 faces melting.
And they did try to actually animate plague symptoms onto people, but they were so rapid that it was ridiculous. It sort of looked like people were turning into cauliflower and then being sucked into hell. Like, poof, poof, poof.
Could you imagine your face just turning into a giant zit, throwing up your guts, and then just vacuumed into hell? All in like 30 seconds.
Right, if that. If 30 seconds.
So let this be a lesson to the UK about Brexit. You know?
Let this be a lesson to Hollywood.
Oh my god. Seriously though. Like
when you already have Guillermo del Toro, you stick with Guillermo del Toro, The Hobbit. Just leave him in there. Whatever we get will be prettier than what we end up with if he's gone.
It's like people don't realize that he's an artist.
Right.
Like
because he's a creepy ass dude, but
well, I mean,
that works together sometimes.
What he needs to do is he needs to make his own studio that has its own publishing.
Yeah.
So that he can make whatever he wants without that kind of.
It's not that he's had a hard time making weird stuff.
But he just, I don't know. The fact that they didn't allow him to make another Hellboy and created this.
Yes.
Like, that's why I'm angry. If this was the first Hellboy movie, I probably would be in your camp where it's like, oh, it's just a Van Helsing, where it's just like, this is dumb popcorn fun.
Right.
That just
I didn't say it was fun.
Well, yeah.
I just said I understood it.
But the fact that Hellboy is a good movie, Hellboy 2 and the Golden Army is a borderline art piece. It is just, the character creature design is so awe-striking. And the character progression of Hellboy through the two movies is beautiful.
And they have Doug Jones.
And then to have this, where it's not even like Hellboy, yada, yada, yada. It's Hellboy. Like
done by a producer's nephew.
Right? Like, it's a full reboot to where they don't even acknowledge the first two.
Yeah, right. I don't even think there was like a jokey moment calling to it at all.
It was just completely washed. And that's why I'm angry at it. If it was its own thing, I would accept it for what it is.
Sure.
A crappy early 2000s comic book movie. Do you have any other thoughts?
Let's see. Do I have any other thoughts? How'd he get his jacket on? Because it was bunched up over his forearm, his giant forearm, because it wouldn't fit on his forearm. But he takes it on and off several times throughout the movie. How does he get it over his forearm? Does it unzip? Does the arm open somehow? Because I have a note about that, and it did bother me. And they show him taking his jacket off, and somebody made a noise next to me, and I looked away, and then his jacket was off. And I was like, God damn it, I missed it! And I'm not going to go watch the movie again to find out.
I don't know.
But how does he get his jacket off?
I honestly don't know.
That's my final note.
That was my least important angry thing in the movie.
That's the most angering part to me.
My final thought is there's an entire, well, minus the King Arthur part, which was just, yes, that's in the comic books, but the whole opening thing was just rushed and unimportant. Like, it was not needed. But the thing that got me and just showed me where the movie was going was literally the next thing was Hellboy looking for his buddy in Tijuana. And the guy turns out to be a vampire, and he kills him, and there's some prophetic thing, and then it just is not important.
Yeah.
And he just moves on.
Yeah.
Like, they do, like, one or two callbacks to it, but, like, none of that scene had any importance.
Well, it had some 3D moments. TM.
It was so... I should have just realized that from that point on, is like, nothing we're going to see is going to be important.
Nothing really matters. Anyone can see.
I'd rather watch Bohemian Rhapsody again. That was actually
it was a good movie.
Anyways, that all being said,